Okay, hello. I'm going to go over how I use Fibonacci retracements. So Fibonacci's numbers are well, they're not typically, but they're old, right? They've been around since I think 600 BC. Leonardo Fibonacci is the one who brought it into prominence, but they were actually created by, I believe, a Indian scholar back in 600 AD, a long time ago. So the numbers are associated with everything from uh, what do you call it? Sunflowers, galaxy formations, architecture, shells. I mean, it's pretty crazy, those numbers. And seashells, I mean, they're just, it's something. But basically, the number pattern is uh, 0 to 1, and then you take 1 plus 0 is 1. So the next number is 1. And then since 1 was the previous number, it's 1 plus 1 equals 2. 2 plus the previous number is 1 is 3. 3 plus 2 is 5. 5 plus 3 is 8. 8 plus 5 is 13, and so on. And those are numbers that keep coming out. Now, if I take, let's say, 5 divided by 13, you come up with, I think, 62%. A lot of them, like 3 divided by 5 might get you, let's see, 3 divided by 5 gets you 60%. So 618 is considered, I believe, the golden ratio, and it's found in all kinds of things. So if you want to look at, you can look up Fibonacci's and get the whole history and da-da-da. So anyway, what they did is they came up with these percentages based on dividing the previous number, and you get 0.236, 0.382, and 0.618, and 0.786. You do not get 50%. That's the number they added. So, and then I added another number, which is 11.8, which is half of the 23.6. So the way I use Fibonacci numbers is, okay, the way I use the Fibonacci numbers is I use 23.6 as my starting number. Okay, so as we cross below, so if price was right here to come down below 23.6 and close a 5-minute candle, okay, there's a high probability, probably greater than 75%, that we're going to come down, continue to come down to the 38.2. Okay, so, and then if we close a 5-minute candle below that, we're going to come down to the 50%. Okay, and so on and so forth, right? So we can go to 618 and we can get to the 786. Okay, so as we do that, always have to be on the watch for a bounce. So there's a couple ways that I look at this, and I say, okay, if we made a strong move up like we have here, okay, we have a strong move up, I'm going to be concerned with a bounce at the 23.6 and the 38.2. Okay, so good continuation. If it's a strong market, probably only going to get a 23.6 retracement and then a kick up. Not as strong, you can still get one at the 38.2 and another kick up, right? If we cross that, then the 50, the 61.8, and the 78.6 are more likely to play out. So I usually get not nervous, but I'm usually really watching the 23 and the 38 too. Okay, so my rule of thumb is if we cross the 23.6 and we close a 5-minute candle below, there's a good chance we're going to get to the 38.2. Okay, so that's my starting point. My starting point is right here. So if we were to cross that, I would then take SPY short. Okay, so that's my entry. So maybe I should label this entry and exits. Okay, so during the course of play, I'm watching this, and I'll let this play out a little bit and we can kind of see. So as I'm going through the day, I'm just keep on increasing my Fibonacci retracements to the high. Okay, so that's what I did on this day, and which was the 13th of October, and pretty much all day long we didn't get any retracements, right? I mean, very little. Even when I put it back here and say, okay, right here at the height here, you know, we got a 23.6 retracement. See how we came down? And that's what you would look for if you were going to go long, right there. So you could take it long anywhere in here, and pretty good chance, since we had a big strong move up, that we're going to take off. Okay, so you know, just a run up, doop, and then doop. So okay, so you got that as an idea. So we came up, then my Fibonacci retracements now come to here, and then I go to here. Okay, so then this day's over. So where do I go from here? So new day shows up. I'm in here waiting for market to open, and let's hit the play button. Let's see what time this is first. Hopefully, yeah. So that's 3:55, so 9:30. Okay, so 9:30 comes in, we gapped up. So big strong move day before, we get a gap up, pretty good chance we're going to come down. Okay, so I'm going to bring my Fibonacci's to the top there. Say, okay, there's my number. And as we're playing, I'll just hit the play button. But I'm thinking, okay, I need to start thinking about a short. And my short positions would start at 364. Okay, oh, I got another high. So I got to move it up. So again, I haven't done anything, but I'm still kind of preparing, right? So, okay, so we got a big bearish engulfing candle. It's a pretty good thought that, hey, we're coming down, potentially, right? Okay, so now I'm going to be starting to think of, I'm going to pull up my ladder chain and say, okay, get my SPY options, and I'm going to look at the 365s. Okay, knowing that I'm not going to do anything until I break this. Now, could we do something like we did here? You know, when I look back at this area, oops, yeah, we came straight across. So we dipped down below a little bit. So you got to be a little careful, right? And we got to be a little careful and say, okay, it could dip. You just got to, it's one of those things where you get a feel for the market and if we're going to reverse or not, right? So I'm going to, you know, I'm going to go ahead and take the 365 puts if we get down here, and my stop will be up here at the 11.8. Another good reason why to have 11.8 on your chart. Okay, so let's hit the play button. And there we go. So now we're playing. Okay, we're moving down. So again, I'm just kind of waiting. I got my option chains. I'm watching the options go up higher and higher. I'm getting a little antsy. I'm like, what the heck? I got to wait, be patient. Okay, market's trying to decide what to do. And there you go. Oh, big candle. Okay, came back up, and I got to wonder, is this still going to go long? But let's just say I'm going to take the 365s. Okay, I'm going to take the 365 puts, and we're going to play it. Okay, I'm going to let this continue on. So what I'm thinking is, okay, now I got my short going, and my stop is going to be here. Okay, and my target is going to be here. So my target is 362, right? 361.82. So if I have multiple contracts, there we go. Let me stop. Oops, can't do that yet. Okay, so we hit target. I'm going to unload, 365 down to 361.82. Let's see what that is. Yep. So the low on that is 361.73. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to unload and maybe keep a runner, right? So I keep a runner of 365. I got one runner, maybe two, maybe five, depends on your quantity. And I'm saying, okay, now if we drop below this area, then I want to take, maybe I want to take the 362s. Okay. So now I'm thinking about my second trade. Yes, you could just keep all your puts and just say, I'm going to just hold on to them. You could do that. And your stop is going to be, right here. Okay. So 365.02. There's your stop. Okay. I'm going to hit the play button. And then we say, okay, so now I got the 365s and the 362s, right? And now you might be saying, okay, what if it goes against me? Now what do I do? Right? Well, you could grab your Fibonacci's, and on something like this, a retracement, what I would be looking for is a 382, no more than 50%. So my stop for me, because the way I play, would be a stop above the 50%. Okay? So that would be my stop for the 365s as well as the 362s that I just got in. Is it possible that he comes up there and exceeds that? And yep, absolutely. Could I get stopped out? Yep, but that's why we trade. Okay, so I'm going to hit the play button again and say, okay, my stop is 50%. I'm going to be above that because I'm slightly above the 50%. I can always get this out again. Okay, I don't have to worry about it because we actually went ahead and made a lower low. Okay, so now life is good. I'm feeling good, but I still getting a little nervous. Okay, that's fine. Put a Fibonacci retracement on there and say, well, how high can you go now? Okay, well, let's get rid of that. Get rid of that and say, well, so now my new stop now is right here. That's the 50%. I want to be above that. So if we get above that, then I'm probably going to want to be out. So again, I still, I'm feeling good. My 365s are still in play, and my 362s are looking good. And I can actually move my stop down a little bit further now, right? Because we move down. So let's say our stop is going to be somewhere right in here. I don't know if that's the exact number. I can always grab my Fibonacci tool, say, okay, and there it is. So, yep, well, what do you know? It's a 382, right? I want to be a little bit higher, maybe up here in the 50. Let's just leave that 382 right where it's at. Okay, so I'm still in the trade. I got the 365s and the 362s. And you got to allow for some market movement. I can't expect it to go straight down like this every time, right? I got a pretty nice run right there. But now we got a little bit of motion right there. So let's just let it go. I'm okay, right? My 365s are looking fantastic. They are now $5 in the money, close to it, $4 in the money. And my 362s are in the money, right? So I'm thinking, okay, I'm still good at this 38.2. there's my stop, and I'm just letting the market do its thing. I'm letting the market not take me out, not shook me out, because I had 3 little candles, right? Okay, so I have the 365s, the 362s, and there's a good chance we're going to get to 359.25, right? So 359, and that is 359. That'll be almost $6 in the money on the 365s. Okay, so now we're looking good. Now, it's something the market does. We get close to the 50%. It wants to bounce. Why? Because it knows everybody's waiting there. Well, okay, this time it didn't do it. But a lot of times you'll get this candle here, this red one, and then we'll get a bounce up and then move back down to tag it. So it's just because they know everybody's waiting at the 50%, right? Okay, so now at this point, you could get rid of most of your 362s, right? And you could keep a couple runners. Okay, now at this point, I have a new area, right? And I could say, let's get rid of that, and let's go. And now I have a new stopping point, which is here. Okay. And maybe I want to just put that line up there also. Okay. I'll get rid of this one. Okay. So then I can go right here. I can get rid of that and say, okay, here's my new stops now. Right? My 38.2 and my 50%, whatever you feel comfortable with. Okay. Now, I could grab, let's say, the 360s, 360 puts, and play those out. Right? Because my next, well, right now I wouldn't take them yet because we haven't exceeded the 50%. So let me hit the start button and let's play. Okay, so right now I just have the 365s, the 362s, and I just have runners left, right? I have runners. Now I'm just waiting, see what happens. We got a green candle. I'm thinking, okay, well, look, I still got 360, 330 before I get stopped out. You know? Okay, so now we got a candle below there. I could grab real quick the 360s or the 359s, knowing my next target is down here at 356. So another 3-point move. Okay, now I also have to be cognizant of time, right? Because now we're getting close to, well, it's 12. I still got 4 hours to go. Okay, so now I also have a new low, so I can actually put in a new stop, and I can bring my stop down. So I can get rid of those, get rid of this, and say, okay, my new stop now is going to be right here and or right here. Okay, so that's my new stop. So if we don't hit those, then I'm good. And I've made a new low here, so I expect to bounce up somewhere. As long as we don't exceed 363, I'm okay. Okay, we're just moving along. Let me see if I can just kind of speed this up a little bit. Okay, there you go. And here we go. So our time now is 1:30. And again, I have a high probability we're coming down here, but there's no guarantee. And we're getting close to the end of the day, right? We're almost at 2 o'clock. Okay, so I can either take profit or just say, I think we're going to close it low a day. And there we go. We're continuing down. And we're at 358. So we have the 365s, the 362s, and the 359s, 360s, depending on what you took. And it's 220. So I'll move it along, move it along, move it along. Let's see, I'll get to 55 and we'll stop it. Okay, there's a little shakeout. Another move down. we're at 15.10. Oh, there's a low. There you go. Another little shakeout. Another little shakeout. And there's so there you go. I'll put a stop right there. Say, okay, that's at time 50. I'll go one more. Oh, that was the previous day. Anyway, you get the idea. So we would have been in at the end of the day. We would have closed out, and you would have closed out your 365s, 362s, and 360s roughly. And okay, so there you go. So that's how I would play this. And you know, the next day we ended up. There we go. So that's how I'd play this. Sorry, I had a couple of distractions there. I'll see if I can move that one more. There we go. So there's the end of the candle at 355. And hopefully that gives you entries and it gives you exits, right? Could you have just taken the 365s and coasted those all the way down? Absolutely. That is a play. I was just trying to show you how if you miss this entry, you could take this entry. If you missed that entry, you could take this entry. You know, this would have been a long drawn out one, but it would have been there, right? The 360s, you would have bought them in the money and you would have sold at roughly $357.50, so $2.50 roughly. I mean, you know, from $1 in the money to $2.50 in the money, you would have made something. So hopefully that gives you entries and exits and kind of an idea how this works. Now, let's say we're going to go well, we already know the next day we get a real big gap up. But basically, if I just take this and move this to here and take this and move it up here, that we could just reverse it then and then do the same thing. So from the 23.6, 38.2 to the 50 and keep walking it up. You'll know where you're wrong. Sometimes, I'll give you another idea. Sometimes we come up to 38.2 and we come back all the way back to either the 23.6 or the 11.8. Or we get to the 23.6 and we move back to the 11.8 before going up to the 38.2. So those are things that you need to watch and figure out what the market does and look for the probabilities. That's your job. Okay? You know, it's kind of like I can't push the button for you, nor do I want to push the button for you. Right? The goal is for you to learn how to trade. So hopefully this video helps you. And if you like it, please hit the like button and the subscribe button. Help gives me better quality videos on YouTube. Okay? Thank you. Thank you for watching.